Welcome everybody, it's Selman. In this video we are going to be talking about Willard Wyler's motives once again, and this one is actually pretty darn interesting, and this was actually suggested to me in one of my comment sections of one of my videos, and it was actually a pretty cool theory that I hadn't thought of yet. And who it's from, just to give credit to him right away, is that it's from a guy called the Son of Sin, and I believe that's how it's said, but it's Sin with a Y. I'm not too sure if that actually says something else, but that's how I think it said, so hopefully I'm saying it right. But anyways, he came up with this really interesting idea that I hadn't thought of, and it had to do with why Willard Wyler is doing what he's doing. And what I mean by what Willard Wyler is doing what he's doing, I am not talking about why Willard Wyler sold his soul, because I think that is a separate matter. What I'm talking about is what he's doing now with our characters and what we're doing throughout Spaceland, Raven the Redwoods, Shaolin Shuffle, and of course the next two DLC. And I think it's actually a pretty interesting idea, and it may have been revealed to us all the way back in Raven the Redwoods, and I just kind of slipped over it. First things first, we have to make sure we do all agree on something, and if you don't agree on this, then you're not going to agree with anything in this theory. But it is very crucial, and it's that when you go inside these films, it is not your actual physical body, but your soul. And of course, I'll explain why that's important later at the end if you guys are still confused. But now getting into the theory of Son of Sin, and it's a really interesting theory, and what he says is that he's doing it for his granddaughter, because if you guys all remember back to Raven the Redwoods, we do hear his daughter talking about how she was actually pregnant at the time. So if Willard Wyler, after he killed her, when realized, oh shoot, she was pregnant, and then he would kind of, I get he would feel guilty, but I don't think that's the real reason behind it, because if you guys think again back to Raven the Redwoods, we do hear quotes of Willard Wyler pretty obsessed about his film company, because he really wants it to succeed and he really wants it to go, because he refuses to sell it, he refuses to do anything that would ever have it leave his possession, and he really wanted his daughter to take possession of it after he was retired and everything. That was his idea, but then his daughter went and left the company, the film company, to go to make her own, and he was infuriated by this, and of course the reason why he had her killed. But if he found out that later on that she was going to have a kid, then he would thought, oh, if I could get just the kid, then I'll be able to go ahead and just raise her without the influence of her mother, and just go ahead and grow her up to have her own the company of Wyler's Productions or whatever it's called. It's a pretty solid theory and I really like it. It's just hard for me to agree with too, because, and the reason is not that I don't like it, it has to do with my other theory talking about what the soul keys are. And the reason why this is important, because first things first, it doesn't really make that much sense that he's bringing somebody back to life that he kind of already killed, because this isn't selling his soul to the devil to bring someone back to life, but this is setting our characters into it to go ahead and do whatever we're doing, because this has to do with what I said a while ago, and I said you won't agree with this theory if you don't agree with it's our souls that are actually inside the film. And the reason why this is so important is because you can kind of say, well, the daughter already died, and if this has nothing to do with it selling his soul to the devil, then how is he bringing someone back to life? And this is why it's important, because I do not believe it's actually their physical body that enters into the film, but just their soul. And I have multiple reasons why I believe this is the case, because one reason is because of the cipher inside Raven the Redwoods when it says the soul key guides their damned souls to eternal salvation. It kind of says souls right there, and that one seems kind of weak, but then again you think back to Raven the Redwoods again and you find these soul charms, and it's their scattered soul around the map. So think about what we're collecting right now. We're collecting soul keys, but whose soul could this be to? And my original theory was that it's Willard Wyler's soul, but that's not really important right now. But it could also be his granddaughter's soul, and that's what we're collecting right now, to go ahead and once we have him all collected, we could just bring her back to life and he gets his granddaughter back. It makes a lot of sense. Now the only problem with this theory that I can think of is the problem that she's kind of an unborn child, so we would kind of have to bring his daughter back to life too. So maybe we are collecting his daughter's and his granddaughter's souls back too, but I'm not entirely sure. But regardless, it is a really solid theory, but it's just hard for me to accept this theory when I have a really cool theory about the soul keys already. But anyways, that's about it for this video. Tell me what you guys think about this theory. Tell me if you guys agree with it, disagree with it, and why. And also, if you have any other theories or any ideas for this storyline, go ahead and also leave those down. That's about it for this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead and thumbs up. If you guys want to stay tuned for content similar to this, go ahead and subscribe. But I'm going to go, and I will catch you guys on my next video.